Surprisingly short lines at the OKC airport might make your Thanksgiving travel plans less stressful. And if you're heading to Stillwater this weekend, you're going to need to bundle up. Plus, hear from Lincoln Riley on his take for this weekend's matchup. This is OU Nightly. Thanks for joining us for OU Nightly. I'm Kayla Davis.
And I'm Tingelstad. With Thanksgiving just a few days away, many are preparing for holiday travel.
But OU Nightly's Will Blessing found less activity than expected this time of year in the Will Rogers International Airport.
Will joins us live in OKC with more. Will?
Yes, I'm here at the Will Rogers Airport where, as you can see behind me, not a whole lot of people here, which is a surprise given that Thanksgiving is in 2 days. A near empty campus today as students are headed home for the Thanksgiving holiday. And as people leave, traffic builds up, but Will Rogers Airport in Oklahoma City doesn't see much of an increase in traffic.
Thanksgiving's a great, holiday for families to spend together, but because it's so short, you'll see some people, travel like today, but our big holiday travel time will be for Christmas.
This is contrary to national travel seeing an increase in use compared to last year. AAA expects there to be about 4.2 million air travelers this holiday, about an 80% increase compared to 2020's 2.3 million air travelers. But while Will Rogers isn't busy this weekend, they're still seeing an uptick compared to last year.
So more and more people are comfortable being around large groups. Every airline is pretty much booked with our nonstop destinations that we have, so you can anticipate a full plane depending on where you're going and what time of year, especially right now.
Although there aren't large lines, it is still recommended to be early for your flights so you don't miss them.
I would suggest arriving around 2 hours before you're supposed to board your flight. That gives you enough time to park, come inside the terminal, check in at the ticket counter, and get through the security checkpoint and get to your gate on time.
And while there aren't a lot of people here right now, there will be a lot of people traveling for Christmas, so make sure you plan accordingly. In Oklahoma City, Will Blessing, OU Nightly.
And if you haven't traveled since the pandemic, travelers must wear a face covering, and TSA will wear gloves and masks. You can also ask TSA officers to change gloves if needed.
But before you go see Grandma and Grandpa for the holidays, you might want to make sure you're COVID-free. Luckily, there are plenty of spots to be tested for COVID-19 around Norman. ME Labs continues to provide tests and vaccines tonight through 11 a.m. tomorrow before closing for Thanksgiving weekend. Health experts are concerned about a spike in cases for those who aren't vaccinated as we approach the busiest travel days of the year. To learn more or schedule a COVID test or vaccine, visit MELabs.com.
As we head into the holidays, we also remain in COVID and flu season with the added threat of COVID-19. Oklahoma reports a little over 300 new cases today, increasing the number of active cases to more than 9,000. There are almost 12,000 total deaths from COVID in the state. Half of the state is vaccinated, but health experts say to still get tested and wear a mask while traveling as cases spike during the holidays.
And now we've had great November weather this week, but it's a little warmer for this time of year. Mikayla Smith, how's the rest of our evening going to feel?
It definitely is a little warmer than what we would normally see. We can see the temperatures have been about 15 degrees above normal this time of year, and we've had some strong southerly winds, which means we've had some fire weather potential out there too. The panhandle today of Texas and Oklahoma. Luckily, that expires at 6 p.m. tonight. Though here in Norman, we can see those temperatures are going to start to cool off by 8 p.m. tonight. Those clouds are going to start to build into our area. Winds are still going to be pretty strong out of the south, so that's something we're going to keep an eye on. But coming up, I'm going to tell you about your holiday travel, what your Thanksgiving Day forecast is going to look like, and a first look at the Bedlam game this Saturday. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Mikayla. It's a busy week with Turkey Day on Thursday, but don't forget about the biggest matchup in the state on Saturday. OU Nightly's Shannon Ehrhardt was at the presser where Lincoln Riley gave his thoughts on the Bedlam game. Shannon.
It's Thanksgiving week, which means it's the last day for classes on
That when you are in a situation where you are traveling,
a lot of respect for this opponent, and you've got to prepare at a high level. You got to play at a high level. You got to do it in a road venue. You have to handle all that well. Past teams have been able to do it, but this team's got to go do it, and we've got to prepare that way. We've got to play that way on Saturday.
Incredibly difficult challenge. You mentioned it when you got to defend the quarterback in the run game as well as the backs and the use of tight ends and. I think one of the better offensive lines that we've seen in terms of road grading guys and getting movement in that. So we know we got to work cut out for us.
This is just the second primetime game the Sooners have had all season, and you will not want to miss it. Now, Saturday's 6:30 matchup is going to be a great one and going to be a fun one. And yes, it is in Bedlam this year. Last year it was in Norman, but this year it's in Bedlam. Reporting live from right outside Barry Switzer Center.
Thanks, Shannon. New developments in Gabby Petito's investigation reveal Brian Laundrie's cause of death. Noah Mack has that story and the rest of today's headlines from around the country.
Thanks, Kayla. Brian Laundrie's autopsy shows that he committed suicide by a gunshot wound to the head. Laundrie was the boyfriend of murder victim Gabby Petito and became a primary person of interest in her death. His remains were found in a nature reserve a month after Petito's body was found. An attorney for Laundrie's family revealed the autopsy results today. The jury for the Ahmaud Arbery murder trial is discussing a possible verdict. Arbery was shot and killed after being chased by 3 white men while he was on a morning jog. The jury left for deliberations following the prosecution's closing rebuttal this morning. Lead prosecutor Linda Dunikowski said the defendants could not claim self-defense because they threatened Arbery. The jury consists of 11 white men and 1 black man. The 3 men faced 9 counts, including 4 counts of felony murder and 1 count of malice murder. Gas prices might be seeing a decline soon after Biden ordered the release of 50 million oil barrels. The order's intent was to combat rising global energy costs alongside major countries like China and the United Kingdom. It will also help rising gas prices within the U.S., which have seen a 50% hike from a year ago. And just this morning, prices went up by 2%. The government will begin moving barrels during mid or late December. And an update on the Wisconsin parade incident, the suspect was charged with 5 counts of first-degree intentional homicide. Kayla and Kaleigh, back to you.
Thanks, Noah. Governor Stitt signed off on a change that will impact 10% of Oklahomans.
We'll tell you more about the state's new district maps.
Plus, COVID is causing more health risks for pregnant women.
We'll tell you more in Health Beat. Stay tuned.
Governor Kevin Stitt has signed new district maps into law. 5 for the state's congressional districts and 1 new district map for the state House of Representatives. The new legislation keeps 90% of Oklahomans in the same districts, establishes new residency requirements for election candidates, and schedules regular and special elections to be held after April 5th, 2022.
But we're in this extraordinary circumstance because it's a once-in-a-century pandemic, and so we got to make the best possible lemonade with the lemons we're given, and so this was a change that was agreed upon as far as December 31st, 2021.
The redistricting legislation follows delays and anomalies regarding 2020 census data, which caused numerous states to redraw district maps and delay elections.
Federal employees are rolling up their sleeves and getting vaccinated as a result of the new mandate. Kaitlyn Deggs joins us in Health Beat to explain the vaccination rates and how the Biden administration is responding.
Thanks, Kaylee. The White House announces that 95% of the federal workforce is in compliance with President Biden's COVID vaccine mandate. This is according to a senior administration official. More than 90% of workers have received at least 1 shot, with the majority of these being fully vaccinated. And the remaining 5% have submitted exemption applications. The compliance figures are close to 100% for some organizations, such as the FBI and IRS. A source familiar with the data says that the compliance rate has surpassed the administration's expectations. And the chance of stillbirth or death among pregnant COVID patients has increased since the emergence of the Delta variant. This is according to the findings from 2 separate studies. The first study shows women diagnosed with COVID are more likely to have a stillbirth. And the second shows that deaths among pregnant COVID patients rose. Both risks increase with the Delta variant. The CDC recommends that pregnant women get vaccinated against COVID to help lower these risks. And a federal jury ruled earlier today that CVS and Walgreens and Walmart recklessly distributed massive amounts of pain pills in Ohio. How much they have to pay in damages will be determined next spring. Kaylee and Kayla.
Thanks, Kaitlyn. The holidays are harder to celebrate when you don't have the resources you need.
We'll tell you how to ensure local teens can be merry and bright this Thanksgiving and Christmas.
And for all of us driving home for the break, Mikayla, what should we expect?
We haven't seen rain in a couple of days, but we have a chance of seeing some rain tomorrow with those holiday travels. So I'll tell you all that and more coming up. Welcome back to OU Nightly. We can take a current look out of our OKC skyline cam. It's been another beautiful day, sitting at 67 with the sunshine. It's been a bit warmer than normal for this time of year, though. We've had some strong winds out of the south, and we can see that over the last couple of hours. These wind gusts have continued out. They've been stronger out near the Panhandle. We've seen those as long as those warmer temperatures today. Current temperatures were almost 20 degrees above normal in Guyman. Here in Norman, we're sitting right around 10, but with those strong winds coming from the south, it's definitely warmed us up just a bit today, and it's fueled our fire weather potential as well. We can see elevated risk here in Norman. We were sitting near critical in Oklahoma City, but out in critical in the Panhandle, and that's where they had that fire weather warning that I showed you earlier. Luckily, though, we have some clouds that are going to be building in later tonight, and then a cold front that's going to work its way through Wednesday afternoon. We can see it right here. It's going to extend, going to give some chances of rain. Most likely it's going to be to the northeast of us at Tulsa. We may see some stronger showers, and then as that pushes out, it's going to take some cloud cover with it. And we're going to be replaced with this high pressure system, which is going to dominate our forecast for our Thanksgiving day. So we're going to see some cooler weather with those temperatures dropping because of that low and that cold front that moves through, but after that high comes back and replaces it, we are going to see some sunshine, so that's the good news. Tonight, though, because we have those clouds that are building in, we're sitting just a bit above normal for this time of year, 50s, 53 in the Panhandle, so it's going to be a bit warmer than normal, but it's not going to affect any of our flight plans. We can see all flights on time, 69 for the airport tonight, and then tomorrow, one of the most busiest days of the year to travel, sitting at 67, partly cloudy, all flights on time, and your highs tomorrow look great as well. We can see in the 60s. That's where that cold front is going to start to work its way through the state tomorrow evening, so definitely going to keep an eye on that. Like I said, there's a few chances of some rain we can see, and that's where that cold front is. This is for the whole entire nation. This is the busiest day to travel, though, and we're stuck between 2 high pressure systems. So there's one out there sitting around Salt Lake City, and then here's our other one out there to the east. So we don't really have any major weather impacts going to be expecting the day for all the traveling on Thanksgiving Day. However, that's when we're going to start to see that rain build along with this cold front. So areas out to the east, that's something that they're going to have to combat with that Thanksgiving Day forecast. Here in Norman, though, like I said, that high pressure system is going to be here, sitting around 41. So we're definitely going to be a bit chilly on our Thanksgiving. 50 is going to be our top out as our high that day, but it's going to be a nice day. We're going to have those sunshines, those thunderstorm chances tomorrow. Like I said, most of it's going to be up towards the northeast, and then happy Thanksgiving on Thursday. Bedlam is on Saturday. I'll have more on that forecast coming up.
Thanks, Mikayla. With the holidays approaching, a local nonprofit organization needs your help. Pantry Partners of Norman helps local teens receive everyday necessities like food and toiletries. This time of year, the organization goes above and beyond to make sure teens have a special holiday and are looking for volunteers willing to help. Pantry Partners begins their Christmas gift program this week. The CEO says donations and gifts are always appreciated.
The best part is just seeing the kids when they smile when they come to pick up all their gifts, and they're excited about the fact that somebody thought about them this year.
To find out how you can help or donate, contact Angela at pantrypartnersnorman@gmail.com.
Well, it's that time of year again.
Yeah, the time of year where you won't catch me in orange. Hallie Moss, tell us more about that Bedlam matchup.
That's right, guys. The Sooners are headed to Stillwater, and one OU women's basketball player had a great week in the Islands. Stick around, sports is up next. Welcome back to OU Nightly. I'm Hallie Moss, and it's time for sports. It's Bedlam Week, and this year's game has a lot at stake for both teams. OSU is already a shoo-in for the Big 12 championship, but for OU, this game will determine their fate. If the Sooners pull out the win, we will see a rematch between these two teams. But if they lose, it all depends on how Baylor performs. This marks the second year in a row where OSU is ranked higher than OU going into the Bedlam game.
Always great, but when you got two good football teams that are going at it with a lot at stake, makes it even better. So excited about the opportunity to get down to Stillwater, play an outstanding Oklahoma State team, playing at a high level. Their coaches have done a phenomenal job with these guys. A lot of guys returning that have improved and are really playing at a high level. They've been a really consistent club the majority of the year, especially the back half here. So we know it'll be a big challenge. We're excited for it. Should be a great game Saturday night.
Senior OU safety Pat Fields has been named one of 3 finalists for the 2021 Warfel Trophy. The award honors the player who best combines community service with athletic and academic achievement. The Sooners are the only program with 2 past recipients. And Gabe Burkich has been selected as a Lou Groza Award finalist. This season, Burkich is a perfect 48 for 48 on extra points and is 17 for 23 on field goals, including 5 attempts from 50 yards or longer. This would be the first time in program history a Sooner has won this award. And there's one talented kicker who was not named a finalist for the Groza Award, but probably should have been. Texas Tech kicker Jonathan Garibay has had a perfect season, not missing 1 extra point or field goal. Garibay also just kicked a 62-yard game winner against Iowa State. And another Sooner who should be picking up some awards soon is shooting guard Taylor Robertson. The Sooner led the women's basketball team to an easy win over Minnesota last night and hit a milestone in the process. Robertson had a fabulous 3 games in the Bahamas. She averaged 25 points per game in the islands. She also became the 12th Sooner to go over the 1,500-point mark in her career. OU is 5-1 after an 88-69 win. And Robertson had plenty of people to thank afterwards.
I would have to say my family, especially my dad. He was with me all the way up, helping me out. And then just the rest of my family, teammates, coaches, and then everybody that's here with me now.
And the Giants announced this morning they have fired their offensive coordinator Jason Garrett after only 26 games. The announcement comes after the defending Super Bowl champs defeated the Giants 30-10 last night. Bucs quarterback Tom Brady threw for 307 yards and 2 touchdowns. And it's Thanksgiving week, and one Wolverines running back is giving back in a big way. Michigan star Blake Corum used his NIL money to buy 100 turkeys to give to local communities for the holiday. Corum personally delivered the turkeys with his dad and fellow teammate by his side. And people wondered what college athletes would use their NIL money for. I'd say this is a pretty good reason. What do you think, ladies?
Yeah, definitely. This is a great way to give back to the community.
Absolutely.
Well, vending machines are for candy and snacks, right?
Well, not the one at the local elementary school. Instead, it's a unique way to get students reading. More when we come back.
I'm Stone Weber at the OU Nightly Update Desk with breaking news. A 6th person has died from injuries sustained in the Waukesha parade crash. The person who died is a child. Prosecutors say this means they will consider a 6th charge of homicide against the suspect, Darrell Brooks. The news came during a court appearance for Brooks late today. The hearing is still ongoing. That's it from the Update Desk. Back to you.
Thanks, Stone. Now, something we wish we had when we were in elementary school.
A vending machine full of books. For Mustang Elementary School, the machines are the solution to turning students' attention away from their phones and getting their nose in a book.
Teachers at the school are hoping for higher reading scores come standardized testing time, but they say the best part is the joy the machine brings. And we've talked about Bedlam. Mikayla, how is it going to feel for all those attending the game?
Yeah, as people wrap up their Thanksgiving plans, if you head to Stillwater this weekend, it's going to be a great pre-game if you have any plans before the game. It's going to be 62, but it's going to quickly cool off. By kickoff, we're going to be sitting at 57, and halftime dropping into those 40s, and then after the game in those low 40s. So you're definitely going to want to have a jacket, be bundling up as that game progresses, because it is going to get a bit chilly. But after that comes through, we're going to have sunshine back into our forecast Saturday, Sunday, Monday next week. So I'm very much looking forward to these temperatures and the sunshine returning. But Bedlam first, hoping for OU to get that win. Are you guys going to that game?
Yep, I'll be there, so I'm glad to know that I need to bundle up for this game.
Yep, wouldn't miss this game.
Well, thanks for watching OU Nightly, brought to you by the Gaylord College of Journalism and Mass Communication on the campus of the University of Oklahoma.
For the last newscast of the semester and my last time on OU Nightly, good night and happy Thanksgiving.